Well, you know, one of the greatest guys that was ever here, I have to think, was Dr. John Olerud. This guy, we're taking infield in the fall, and he said, well, you know, Coach, we're going to Omaha. I said, we are? Who's going to take us there? And he said, me for one. We're taking infield. But what a great guy he is. In 65, I thought it was going to happen about every 10 years we go to the World Series, but I found out that wasn't going to be true. And then he has, people ask me, how come little old is so good? I said, he come from good seed. That's the first thing. You plant good seed, you get good crops. We played Stanford. I don't know what the tournament was, but they had a left-hander from over here at Yakima, and he was a good one. And Eileen was with me when I was over recruiting the guy, and they're in the house. The mother says, now just where is Pullman? Well, Eileen never hit anybody in her life as she wanted to on that one. Just where is Pullman? Well, we beat him pretty bad. He's walking off the field down here. He was crying. His mother had a hold of his arm, and Eileen said, you suppose they know where Pullman is yet? He was playing right field for us, and he went up and he struck out, and I think he took the third strike, and that was an absolute sin against Buck. That's what he called a soldier. Some guy'd take a second strike, and he'd scream out and start almost in a crying voice, Sonny boy, don't you soldier on me. About that time, strike three goes by because the guy's so worried about what Buck's saying. I'll give you one more Buck Bailey story. I don't want to tell them all. But one is that Buck was a pretty good horseback rider. And down in his little hometown down in Texas, well, they'd have a rodeo every goddamn Sunday. So this was late May. Our school used to be out here in late May, and the baseball season was over somewhere around the 25th of May or the 20th, something like that. Quick as that season was over, Buck, he didn't do any recruiting. He'd take off for Texas. It's about a 5-day drive straight through for Buck, going like a mill-tail to hell, And so he gets down there on a Saturday night. Well, these guys have already figured this thing out. When Buck gets here, we're going to put him on this horse that nobody's been able to ride on Sunday at the rodeo. So Buck, he goes down to the rodeo grounds on Sunday morning, has no idea what's happening. Well, yeah, we got a horse for you to ride, Buck. Okay, so Buck gets on this horse. And this horse comes out of the chute, and he goes straight up in the air, and he goes around in circles, and he does everything else, and Buck just hangs on, and people are yelling and screaming, and pretty soon that horse goes way up in the air. He turns a flop over and comes right down on his back, and Buck's on his back. And, of course, they all figure that they certainly run the saddle horn right through Buck's gullet, And they run out there, and they roll him over, and sure enough, Buck gets off kind of grinning, and the horse was dead. Horse broke his back. So that's kind of, Buck's brother told me that story. I tell it to be the truth. Well, be a Coug, you gotta love the place. Kids do get that. I mean, I've had kids come here that they could, I had this picture out of San Mateo. That San Mateo Junior College is where this Nochi was the coach for years on end. And I had this kid out there. He's a pitcher, and he hated this place. He come here in the snow, was 6 foot deep and all this sort of thing. And this guy, I go down to San Mateo to put on a clinic. When I'm through, I go down and I sit in the end. And who's the old guy that always dressed so great? And he was a hitting guy, and everybody liked his hitting style going out in front there. Anyway, so he's up. So I want to hear what he's saying. This kid comes in. He's a policeman in town, or a state patrolman on the other. But anyway, he comes in and he's yakking at me, telling me what a great place Pullman is, how he wants his kids to go here, and on and on and on. I'm trying to listen to this guy, but I was laughing inside so much you couldn't believe it, because, you know, once they get here and they go a little while, then they begins to rub into them. So once they get that down, then they get to be a Coug, and they get some devotion to the place. You know, one of the, I think it's probably even happened to me, but I know it happened to a lot of my guys. They'd go off at Thanksgiving vacation, and man, they couldn't wait to get back. Or we're off on a baseball trip. Boy, coming over that hill into Pullman, that was a big item, boy, and the old bus, the guys are all up and yelling, but you know, they just, they love the place.